Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and Wargames. In this video we are going to record a 1500 points battle report between the Commonwealth and the Imperium. As you may notice from the table, we are going back to the Northern Atlantic because we're back with the icy terrain for a little a spin-off of the main battle that are happening now in Southern Pacific. Joining me today here we have Amphitryon. Amphitryon, you will play the Imperium now. You will describe the list in a second. For my side, I play Commonwealth, and you will notice that it's mostly the Russian forces that are being up to gain for the summer contest that we have for this year. So just as a reminder, if you post a comment under any videos that have been released since the announcement in June of this contest, you will gain a little ticket. One for each video under which you post, and at the end of September we're gonna make a live, and you will have a chance for each ticket that you have to gain an entire Russian battle fleet. So I will try to show you how to play them in battle today. For this 1500 points of fight between the Commonwealth and more exactly the Eurasian Accord and the Imperium, we have a quite classic scenario. So we need by the end of the battle to control each of the table quarters. On my side, I play with mostly basic Russian units, in the sense that they are cheap and very efficient, and I made them even cheaper by putting shield generators everywhere. I have two battle fleets. The first one is going to be led by this basic Borodino, to which I just paid the upgrades for the railgun. He has two attached rigs, also with railguns. Talking about railguns, we have here three Kutsovs with shield and railgun to the front. One of them is a Norilsk because I didn't pay attention when I was taking the miniatures to play. I have here two Hatangas with shield to the rear, a big railgun and small railgun to the front, each of them. And as well a Mozhayski, which I paid the upgrade of 3 victory points with the patron to give it Fortunes of War. That's going to be very important. It has 3 railguns, smaller, and 2 attached to the rig, with each of them railguns as well. Finally, I have 3, those are Norilsk, so heavy cruisers with shield, once again, because it combos good with ablative armor. And in the front, those are the only guys to whom I did not pay railguns. So they have heavy gun batteries and smaller gun batteries to the front. So a very classic Russian battle line. Almost every single unit has quantity is a quality, which means that while I keep those two guys next to each other, they might respawn and I can send the next wave in a very Russian fashion. The plan is quite simple. Let him come at the first turn, pepper him with railguns, and once I will be at point blank, it's going to be much harder, but hopefully I will have cleaned it up by then. Now let's go to the Imperium.
Now about the Imperium fleet, so I have 2 battle fleets, one for the Scandinavian ships and one for the Prussian one. Starting with the Prussian fleet, I have my standard Tempelhof. He doesn't have Blitzbomber, it's a standard Tempelhof. He has a unit of 4 attached Sigimir with him, with Stormcloud, which is one of my favorites. Accompanying them, they are a unit of 4 Toten, all with Stormcloud. This unit gains the keyword Prussian when attached to a Prussian battle fleet. So this is it for the Prussian side. Now on to the Scandinavian. We have of course the Ragnarok Heavy Reaver with a unit attached of 2 Hoths. It's a standard one with 2 heavy gun battery. Then we have another unit of 6 Hoths, which are very mobile, more solid than most Mass 1 ships, so very versatile, very useful for this kind of scenario where you have to capture table quarters. One lonely Gunir with his Stormcloud, and then a big unit, an expensive unit of 3 Jotuns, all with heavy gun battery and Stormcloud.
Okay, first activation of the turn. I have first activation. I'm playing these 3 railgun Kutsovs, and I'm playing a little bit greedy. They barely just drifted, and they have line of sight, each of them on a different unit. So there will be 1 attack on this Hoth, 1 on this Hoth, and 1 on this Hoth. Each time 8 dices, minus 1 citadel, so there will be citadel 9. It's a little bit greedy because I will need a little bit of luck to kill each of them, but 3 chances. I think it's worth it, because I will not be able to cripple the Ragnarok, and anyway the Ragnarok I need to really sink it in order to finally get it down, because it gets very angry and it doesn't degrade when it's crippled. So there it is, 8 dices on the first Hoth right there. So 1 hull point on this Hoth. I need to do 9 in order to one-shot them. So this time here, I do again only 1 hull point.
1 hull point.
And this guy, and this time it's gonna be 10 hits. So this half has been 1 shot. So it could have worked better, but I'm still happy I at least destroyed 1 half. Okay, next activation. He actually did move the Gungnir just power sliding. Not power sliding, he went all the way there, and now I don't have any lines of sight because he's well hidden. The only unit that could see him is there, but they're activated already. So I move my Norilsk. So they moved, so one of the guy moved forward to have an unobscured view on the Tempelhof, and the others barely have the view, but it's what I need. 14 dices, because I'm at long range and they don't like being at long range, these gun batteries. 14 dices, but focus gunnery, revolving links. But we hope. We have 2 explosives. That is disappointing, but that's only going to be 1 hull point of damage on the Tempelhof. Activation of the Ragnarok and its 2 Hoth. He's going to shoot everything at this unit. First, he's going to shoot his arc generator. He's going to shoot everything on this guy. It ignores the shield generator. Might not have been the smartest idea of mine to take only shields everywhere. It's going to be 7 dices. Sustained, devastating. Sustained on the blues.
Much better.
Okay.
So I can...
no explosive because of ablative armor.
Ablative armor, right.
Sauf si tu as piercing.
I don't have because I have gunnery, sustain, devastation.
And now we have the shooting of the 2 heavy volt gun batteries. So they are 8-3 at closing, -2 because of the shield generator. Let's have a look. Pas mal. That is 11 hits. It's 1 hit away from making a critical damage. That's still going to be 1 whole point of damage. I move my Hatanga forward, and they're gonna shoot all their railguns on the Ragnarok here, linking everything. So 4 railguns, 2 small and 2 big. Broadsides also on the Ragnarok is the only one at closing. 1 blast is going to go here, touching everyone, and the other one touching only the Ragnarok here. We're gonna shoot everything except the railguns, and we come back just to film the rolling of the railguns. Okay, well, just the 2 blasts were really good. The first blast made like 10 hits, and the second blast did 18 hits. That was a very good roll. So the half are really dead, and this guy took a magazine explosion as well, so he's already at the red, and he got a critical. Now I have, first of all, I gained 2 victory points, 1 from this card, and 1 because I destroyed the squadron. Very good. And now I'm gonna have 15 dices, linking all the railguns. He has still 13 now, and I might cripple it actually. Ooh, 3 explosives. Ooh. Another 2 explosives. Alright, my next activation is the Mozhayski. He sent his SRS token on the Toten, 5 on one and 3 on the others. Might be a little bit greedy, we'll see how it was. And I'm going to link everything with heavy firepower on the Ragnarok. 3 small railguns plus 2 small railguns, 3 of them being with heavy firepower, is going to be 19 dices of rail. He has armor 6, citadel 12 with rail, so I'm hoping for a good roll. 4 explosives. I'm throwing the critical, and if I do one of those, explosion or navigation lock, it's going to be catastrophic explosion, and the Ragnarok is gone. Yeah. No, man, that is absolutely not what I wanted. Okay, 1 more hull point. He has 1 hull point left, but he's moving forward 3 inches. All right, the Tempelhof activated. He sent his SRS token defensively, exactly the same as I did, 5 and 3. Then he moved forward. His torpedoes and the attack of the Sturmklaus did 3 hull points of damage in total to this Norilsk there. And 1 critical, which was generator offline because of the voltaic quality, which I think actually adds also another token. It should be at the red level of disorder from voltaic. Then what I did, the Borodino made full reverse and it turned. He's not going to be in range of the Ragnarok yet, but what I want to do is he can have those 3 in the blast of the cryo generators. Then he's gonna make 2 attacks with the 3 big rail guns and 2 small, 1 attack at 13, 1 attack at 9, and then torpedoes in the unit here as well. I'm hoping, if I'm lucky, I should be able to wipe out this unit of Hoth, which, if it gets at point blank, is really gonna destroy the entire unit of Kutsov. So I'm counting on this, and I also put my Kutsovs here to like protect from a boarding of the Ragnarok. Not sure if it will help. He can still ram them and stuff, but maybe it will slow him down. Because until the Ragnarok is sunk, he shoots and boards at full potential. So I'm a bit afraid he has initiative next turn. This is my last activation of the turn. Let's see at the end what happened. After all the shooting, and a sad, unfortunate blast did not manage to kill the unit here, even though they were only armor 10. And in the end, I had to use all my shooting to kill the 3 Hoth in the front. It's okay, 3 Hoth, it's gonna be fine, especially at point blank, it's gonna make a big difference. But he still has an activation here. And of course, there is still the Ragnarok here. If he has initiative next turn, I'm very bad, like it's gonna hurt. And now the big activation of the Jotuns. Going forward, the 3 Heavy Stormclaw and Starclaw are gonna link each time to make 3 attacks on this guy, hoping to make at least once a Citadel Breach to deactivate the generators, both shield and cryo. And then the 3 heavy Volt Gun battery are gonna link all of them and shoot on this guy that already doesn't have a shield generator anymore, hoping to finish him off and cripple it. Let's roll all this and see at the end. Alright, so the the Jotuns there, they did 1 whole point of damage with heavy gun batteries here. A critical, and then 2 hull points, 2 hits each time, 2 damage. So he has only 1 hull point left before he's crippled, and he's at the red level of disorder, and he has a generator of light. And same on this guy from the attack of all these double Stormclaws. So no more shield generators here, and neither cryo generators. That is a little bit sad. There is a lot of arc, and it goes through the shields and anyway deactivates them. So I'm not sure it was such a good idea to bring so many shields on my list, but I still have some ways to be able to repair at the end of the round, and I should have another one here. So I will probably do this, try to make some repairs at the very end. And first we're gonna do the airplanes. We'll see if I do manage to destroy 1 or 2 Totens. And then we're gonna make the repairs, and then we'll see when we know who has the initiative for the second turn. Okay, we have the remnants of the air battle there, and we did the reparations. I destroyed 1 Totem with the first attack with the 5 tokens. I had 3 in the end, and the other attack, he said like I will count explosives as double counters, and he wiped out all the 3 tokens before I even rolled the dice, like just with the interception. So good rolls from him. Then we did some reparations. I did reparations. I used the card to repair the little Tempelhof, and I repaired for both guys. They lost a hull point, but I have generators now, and he has initiative because he used his best card. He had a double activation, and he spent it to get the initiative for this turn. So now he has a little choice. Does he activate the Ragnarok first to try to come around here and make some boarding and stuff, knowing that he is navigationally lost? Or does he try to move something here to try to prevent the little blast that will happen there? Good question. We will let him think and we'll see what he does. And he made the decision to activate the Ragnarok. The angry Vikings are moving forward. He used the card to go a little bit faster. I did not intercept because it's a beautiful action. I want to see what the Ragnarok does. What is he gonna do? He's gonna do Sturmbrigger here. Maybe he's gonna kill him outright at point blank. Broadside here, broadside there. 2 heavy gun batteries there, and then he's gonna board either him if he's still alive or this little guy. And well, that's always gonna be it. The ship is literally burning. It has all the criticals and stuff, but he still shoots each action. The lead value is at at battle ready value, so so that's very good. His boarding is going to be devastating, and rerolling blanks and stuff. So even with the ship at 1 hull point, it's still extremely dangerous. I have a battle line right now. I'm not sure I will have at the end. We'll see at the end of the entire activation what happened. Well, the shooting did not do much from the little broadsides and heavy gun batteries, but between the Stormbringer making, of course, a little like 3 times the armor and 1 time the citadel, plus the boarding, which made 36 hits on the attack against 9 on the defense. Obviously, the poor little Kutsov has been destroyed, said. My activation were these 2 Khatangas. Their broadside did 1 hull point on the Gugnir. Their 2 attacks of heavy gun batteries and gold batteries did 3 hull points and 1 critical in the end on the Tempelhof. But I put 2 blasts, one after the other, on these Sigimers. Neither blast did even 1 hull point of damage. So I'm very disappointed of these blasts. It was terrible rolling. And well, I did some damage on the Tempelhof, which is already something, but I was expecting a lot more, a little bit sad. Well, alright, so a couple activations happened. First, the Hof, they moved here, did a broadside on the Rurik and crippled with their Stormclaw these Khatangas, and then some maneuvering happened here. The Borodino went forward, he took 12 points of damage because I didn't want him to go to the red. Moved, then moved here, and now we have this very cool moment. I think it might be the miniature of the video. And he's gonna do a broadside here. He will board it if he's not done. Then little broadsides on the Hof. I will also board them just for the fun. And then heavy firepower on the 3 heavy tri-railguns, plus the 2 smaller railguns. Everything going on the Tempelhof. And the torpedoes will not go on the Hof. They will probably go on the Tempelhof as well, or the Hof, I will see, or the Gungnir, if he's in the right firing angle. We will do all of this and come at the end. So it has been a slaughter indeed. Without too much surprise, the Borodino did destroy the Ragnarok with its boarding action. Then, with its broadside. Then the boarding action on this guy shot him, led by the Borodino. Torpedoes destroyed one of the little guy. It did a point of damage on the Gungnir. Especially important, the big railgun attack at like 22 dices did double citadel on the Tempelhof. So this guy is crippled, he has 4 hull point left, and the critical damage was the magazine explosion. So as you can see, it spread some damages all around, and then the blast again did not wipe out the unit, but it destroyed one of the totems that had been damaged by the magazine explosion, and then those guys have 1 hull point left. So extremely good activation from the Borodino. It's getting quite intense. Let's see what happens next. The 2 Toten charged down. They killed with their weapons this Rurik and put this one to 1 hull point. They tried a boarding, and through terrible rolling from the Toten and great rolling from the Rurik, helped by the Borodino for a little +1 that is all the difference, they actually did a counter boarding, sinking this Toten. It was actually something like 4 hits for the boarding, great, even with elite crew. And I was like, I think 14 of defenses, which was completely out of stats. So, yay, good job, Russian sailors. Okay, next activation, I moved forward the Norilsk. One of them was at point blank, but obscured, but anyway, to the chances, I shot everything, all the broadsides, heavy broadsides, on this guy in the middle, the Jotun. I, first of all, did 3 hull points plus a critical, and the critical was magazine explosion again. So I'm very happy, more damages around. And now I focus everything on the Tempelhof, all the heavy gun batteries, 3 of them, and all the gun batteries, 3 of them at closing, plus focus gunnery. It's going to be 28 dices, rerolling blanks. It might sink the Tempelhof outright. It's going to be one of the big attack of the game. Rerolling blanks. 8 explosives. Another 2 explosives. That is 37 hits on the Tempelhof. That is completely out of statistics, even with 28 dice as rerolling blanks. Actually, maybe we're not so far from statistics. But still very powerful attacks from the Norilsk. Very good ships. Wow. Vengeance of the Jotuns. They moved forward, linking all their Sturmclaw. They one-shot this Ratanga there. Then their broadside, they did a lot of damage, including a magazine explosion, damaging themselves on this Ratanga, and they finished him off with a carnage with their boarding. So this is gone, and I rolled 2 dice and I made 1 explosive, which means there is 1 Kutsov with 2 gun batteries now in reserve. I will roll for him at the end of the turn, which is going to be now actually. The Mozhayski activated very offensively, put all his SRS token on this unit of Jotun. Heavy firepower and all the rail guns made a catastrophic, not a catastrophic, but a critical still on this guy. He went to the red and he is quite weak now. One broadside, each broadside of each Rurik made 1 hull point on the little Sigimirs that had 1 hull point left each. And then the heavy broadside of the Big Daddy Mozhayski sank the last full life Sigimir. So that was a fairly good and happy activation. Now let's go for the Imperium. Actions of the Gungnir. It came here in the end to ram, doing a whole point of damage, and then he had very disappointing, ramming score and shooting with the Sturmclaw and even boarding. Didn't kill either of them. And even for the boarding, it was like balanced state. So this guy went to the yellow and this guy went actually to the black. So a little bit sad for the Gungnir's disappointing rolling. What was not disappointing rolling were those Kutsovs. 1 broadside killed this guy, 1 broadside killed that guy, then the railguns linked and killed that guy over there. And I just wanted to show you this result. This is the result of a single broadside. So 6 dices, rerolling blues, yes, but it went like this. I was like, okay, it's already dead, stop shooting. So that's it for the Kutsov, and I think that's it for the Imperium. I have a last activation because my Kutsov that was in reserve from quantity is equality can come now. So the Kutsov with a hit did hit result. He couldn't come from the enemy lines, but he came here, made a little maneuvering here. It was a closing, broadside did nothing. But then with -2 Citadel, I did actually twice the Citadel because the Jotun with -2 in cripple has only Citadel 8 and made 16 hits with the heavy gun batteries. So that was good, and it was first of all it killed him, and it made a magazine explosion. So everyone around, including this Rurik that finally died, took a point of damage. We will do the air attack. I will probably move on this guy a little bit in the back, and we will see at the end of turn 2. Okay, so without much surprise, he shot 1 token down with ADV, and the 7 else did twice the Citadel and sank this little Jotun there. So basically there are 2 units left for the Imperium, with both of them crippled. And I think we can say that it is a victory for the Commonwealth. So we will stop at the end of turn 2, like no need to finish off the last units. Quite a good victory for the Commonwealth. It will help them in the narrative campaign. Okay, so this was a quite interesting game. I hope you had a good time. We finished at the end of turn 2, as we said, because there was no point going further, but it was very intense. Actually, there were a few dice rolls that really went on the Commonwealth's side, but it was quite balanced, especially turn 1. I was a little bit scared. I was like, oh damn, like I will not be able to shoot much. This is what we just discussed right now. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult. And in the end, there was opportunity of shooting on the Ragnarok, and when it was there, I was like, okay, I will have a good turn 1, which means good turn 2, etc. But really, like, it was closer, this game, than we think. Like, the Imperium is gone by turn 2, you can think like, oh, it was one-sided. No, it was really close, and it was quite some luck of the Commonwealth, and just one little mistake of the Imperium that snowballed later on. What did you think of the game? What did you think of the lists? And
yeah, we were trying the new rules coming.
Yeah, we tried the Orbit 3.04.
The rules for the Imperium are very interesting, especially for Scandinavians ships.
Quite strong.
Yeah, lots of rules regarding ramming and assaults, which make for thematic and enjoying gameplay, which is very good. But problem is you don't get to test them until turn 2 because
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
1 you won't make much assault or ramming.
That's true.
So what I was planning to do was hide my units and then don't show him anything, which was going pretty good.
It was going good. I really thought I would not
And then
shoot
I made
that.
a huge mistake, which was one, to advance my Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's a mistake for two reasons. One is you want to protect your big ships,
Yeah,
especially
it's
Mass
fragile.
3 and 4,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
one, they're fragile, and two, when they shoot, they're really punishing your opponent, so
Yeah.
you don't want to offer
Yeah, you've
him
seen
a-
them already, you know, like one activation, it
Of
kills
course.
like quite a few things.
Sure. So this was the first mistake, and the big one, of course, because then he got lots of targets to shoot at, and I should have maybe try something to hide my big ships.
Yeah.
But that's that's just a lesson you have to
yeah,
learn,
it's a little lesson.
because the Imperium not very fragile.
Yeah, so
ships, so you have
some
to be
Imperium
careful.
ships, especially Scandinavians, they are very punchy, but you need to hide them so they can
Yes.
get good. So either strategic reserves, but yeah, they will come turn 2 anyway. And in our local meta, we play with crippled because otherwise it's too
Yes,
strong,
too strong.
Anyway. But would be efficient. But anyway, you will not use them turn 1. So it was quite difficult. And the thing here is like, if usually when you have a lot of extreme range on, you think like, okay, if I hide my battleship, it will shoot another cruiser, etc. But when there is a lot of terrains like this and no firing angle at all, if I don't shoot on the battleship, I lose my activation and I do nothing. So this was really the moment where I think I could have been tabled by the end of turn 2 otherwise, or maybe turn 3 because turn 1 nothing would happen. But it really was close. I really enjoyed it. It was really like, it was a smaller battle, but we took a lot of time because many times they were like, okay, what do I think? If I activate this, then you activate this, then I can activate this. It was really like trying to think like 3 or 4 activations in advance because it was all about hiding and thinking like, okay, which activations do I need? Especially here we had 5 and 6 activations. So it was really like trying to think how I activate in which order, which is how I like to play Dystopian Wars. It really makes you think.
Yes, plus I was really lucky with the card because I was able to get the initiative at first, which was very good for me because I chose to go second, had a good deployment overall.
Yeah,
I was
you
able
let me
to
deploy first.
So I was good on that, and then I also had the first
turn,
first activation during the second turn, which let me do something with my Ragnarok. I would have been able to do so. Now the good combo we've tried out that was really working is to add storm claws and heavy storm claws and stormbriggers everywhere because you get to target the enemy generator, and he was using a list with lots of generators.
And cryo generators, shield generators.
Turn 1 I was able to target specific ships that use
inside
their generators to put some area of effects, and I was able to target them, and it would have been a terrible turn 2 if he hadn't been able to repair his ships.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
even though the 2 blasts I repaired did 0 point of damage.
Yes, they were.
Well, but this is nice.
But that's a good combo that we found that may be interesting.
Yeah, very strong.
But of course, in order to do this, you need to survive turn 1 and to bring your weapons. So this is something I have to work on. But good play, good game. We experimented with the new Orbat that is coming. That is incredible in terms of visibility, information,
Much
display.
better.
Much better than what we were used to. So yeah, good thing overall.
Good things. For the Commonwealth, this new Orbat, they are very tough, they are very cheap, they are not super strong, like they are very basic weapons. Most of them heavy gun batteries and stuff. The railguns are good as ever. They are quite cheap, and with quantity is a quality, it can be oppressive. You can really play the long game with respawning if you send your first line first and your flagships in the back. But even here I just had a good luck rolling an explosive, and you get these very good ships in reserve for free, which is good. Plus they are so tough. Even Kutsovs are very cheap and they have 500 points in cripple. Norilsk and Ratangas are like 5-5 and they have a Blative armor. You put them shields, which, okay, here didn't do much because there was arc everywhere, but usually it means you have Blative armor, shields, you're very cheap. By playing large units like this, I think Commonwealth is really probably going to be one of the stronger factions of these new Orbats. We still didn't see couple of those, like we played with them like with the preview rules, but we didn't see yet the Union, a couple of others, but Commonwealth are for sure an extremely tanky and resilient nation. I think probably the tankiest nation right now.
Right.
Not in terms of like tanky, like yeah, I have a Shroud, I have Citadel 17. No, they just have so many hull points and they regenerate and they're cheap. So you can really flood the table with a lot of cheap, tough, efficient units. And I think that's how at least the Russian part wants to play. And of course, we're waiting for the Polish-Lithuanians for the air component.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming to play. We hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to give us a little comments. It gives you a chance to win the Russian battlefleet. Not literally every ship. I keep the Mozhayski, especially now it can have railgun, which makes it very efficient as you've seen. But yeah, as you've seen in our video, you have everything. You have an Anastasia, you have a Deathbringer that you can win. So leave us a little comments. Let us know if you like. Let us know what you would like to see more on the channel. And until the next video, remember to keep spreading the love all around. Bye!